Hey, my friends, this is AD. This week's episode of Better Is Now, the podcast, we are tackling when is your next big win? Are you preparing for your success or are you settling for failure? So this week, we're going to make some big things happen. Stay tuned. This is going to be exciting.
This is AD Roberts. Welcome to Better Is Now, the podcast. I believe we live in a world filled with limitless possibilities. And in this world, we are all looking to feel, do, and to be better. From that limitlessness, gentle nudges arise to remind us of our own possibilities. Today's nudge is about to begin right now.
Hey, my friends, and welcome to the Better Is Now, the podcast. This is AD Roberts, and let's jump right in. You know, once upon a time, my first mentor, he would always say to me, if you fail to plan, you plan on failing. And so that's our topic for today, because when you look at your life and things may not be going the way you want them to, the question is, what are you planning for? Are you planning for the next win, or have you been planning for the next win, or had you been planning for the next failure? And as my mentor said, if you fail to plan, you were planning on failing. So what are you planning for? I mean, really, right now, in this very moment, what are you in preparation of? What are you looking forward to? What are you working on? Do you have any plans that you have put in motion to secure your success? And that's a big question. So if you haven't, the likelihood of your success is slim to none. You can only hit a target that you can see. I hate to sound cliche, but that's where things are. So what needs to happen is you have to move beyond conversation, because there's always something that, we always want the next big thing, the next best thing. There's something that we want to create, or something that we want to attract into our space in life. But what have you done beyond conversation? What have you done beyond dreaming? So let's just get really simple. Let's get simple and cut straight to the chase. One of the things that you have to do is you have to write it down. Make your plan simple. If you want to experience something, it doesn't matter whether it's a car, a house, a relationship, anything material or non-material, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to experience, the next step beyond having conversation about it, the next step beyond dreaming, is actually taking that action step to write it down. And there's so many reasons why you want to write this down. Right off the rip, metaphysically, I believe that when you write something down, and I'm not talking about typing something, on the computer screen or anything like that, but I'm talking about when you take the time and you pick up an old school pen. I know this is an Apple pen, but if I were to reach over here and grab this pen, because that's how I prepare for my talks with you guys, is I have a book that I write in. So as I jot notes down, I believe metaphysically, when you start to write your goals down and you write your plans down and you stretch them out and you make them plain and you make them very clear, I believe that this is when your idea is first born into the physical reality. I'm gonna say it again. When you pull out a real pen and you put that pen to paper and you write down in as much detail as possible what that thing is, and start to craft a plan for the execution and the experience of that thing, you are literally birthing your idea into physical reality. So it's really important that you do that. The next thing is, I remember, being a much younger man, I remember hearing Zig Ziglar say, and if you don't know who Zig Ziglar is, you really need to go look up Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar is like the father of, sales. Like all of the stuff, the many of the things that, salesmen use or companies use are some of the protocols and things that he established a long time ago. So one of the things that Zig Ziglar said was, he said that ideas are like slippery fish. If you don't gaff them with the point of a pencil, they will slip away downstream, never to be seen again. That's right. An idea is like a slippery fish. And if you don't gaff them with the point of a pencil, that idea will slip away from you and never be seen again. That happens all of the time. Come on. Sometimes you'll get an idea, you have a brainstorm, and this is in your mind, in that present moment, you believe that this idea is so big, you're like, oh, I won't forget this. I won't forget this. 10 minutes later, you've forgotten it. Why? Because you didn't write it down. So write the idea down so that your dream won't slip away, or whatever message that came to you. Because see, you gotta think about this. We live in this energetic universe, and our spirit tribes and spirit guides and ancestors and all that, they'll whisper to us. They will whisper to us. Angels will whisper to us and say, hey, here's an idea. Here's something that will help you take your business to the next level. Here's something that will take your relationship to the next level. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So we'll get these inspirations. And as these inspirations come in, we have to write them down. Make it plain, make it simple, write it down. And so as you write it down, what you're doing is, one, you're manifesting it into the physical world for the first time. Then you're also crafting out this beautiful trip, if you will. You are designing or charting a course for your next big win. That's right. When you write it down, you're charting the course to your next big win. Because when you break things down into tiny bits, it's so key. Because, like, again, my first mentor, he would say, how do you eat a 10,000 pound elephant? And he would always say, one bite at a time. And so if you take the thing that you want, that sometimes seems so daunting and so big, and you just don't know how you're going to manifest it. You don't know how you're going to create it. Even for me, there are times when I haven't the slightest idea how I'm going to create a particular thing. So I just follow those old simple principles. I pull out the old pad and I pull out the old pen and I'll write it down. I'll make the vision as plain as I can. And then I'll back up and I'll say, okay, what's the first step? What is the first thing that I can do to start me on this path, towards my next win? And if that is, if my next win is writing a new book, if my next win is launching a new program, is creating a new marketing campaign, whatever it is writing it down. And again, use baby steps. Because sometimes when we have big goals, it seems like it takes forever to get there. But if you break things down into small bite-sized chunks, it's easy to have small wins. And the more small wins you have, they'll equal up to the big win that you're looking for. And it helps you to see where your progress is. Even if day one is just sending an email, making a phone call, doing some research online, purchasing a domain name, whatever that thing is. If it's writing a new book, hey, come up with a title of the new book, or better yet, take it one step further. I can't remember where I get this idea from, but it's a wonderful idea, and I've used it before, is before you actually have the book, have the cover of the book already designed. Get the book cover design, and you print it out, and you kind of wrap it around a book that you already have, and just sit it there prominently so you can see it, and you keep it in front of you. And so it's a constant reminder that you need to be working on your project. And so these are things that will get you one step closer to your next big win. That's that plan. And it's so easy. It's so easy to this concept or this principle is such a simple principle. It's often overlooked by so many people because you believe that you have to do something big or major. No, you don't always have to do something big, but you do have to do something. It's so paramount. Remember that you don't always have to do something big, but you do have to do something. You have to plan and chart a course for your next win, because if you don't, if you fail to plan, you plan on failing. You know, it's like people wake up in the morning every day and not have a plan for their life. That's scary to me, because you can wind up anywhere. You know, think about this. Let me ask you a question. If I had a boat, and I actually do have a boat, and I say, hey, I'm gonna get all of these luxury, it's gonna be a luxurious day, and I'm gonna have wonderful foods, amazing drinks, beautiful people, great music, entertainment on the boat. It's going to be free. Everybody's welcome to come out to the marina. We're going to cast off around 10 o'clock in the morning, but I just need you to be there. So, you come, you say, hey, I'm going to hang out with AD for the day. And you come, you hang out, you get on the boat, and I'm still, I'm hosting and everything. And I say we're about to shove off, and there's nobody on the fly bridge. You're like, well, AD, who's gonna captain this thing? Who's gonna pilot this boat today? And I said, oh no, we don't have a captain. We don't have a captain. We're just gonna turn on the engine, get it on out of this marina, and wherever it goes, it just goes. How many of you still are gonna want to be on the boat, even though we have all of this wonderful stuff? Very few, because it's dangerous. That water is dangerous out there. Anything can happen. We can run aground. We can, run up on some rocks, or, have an accident. Anything can happen when you don't have a captain. You see, your plan of action, your step by step, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your captain. You have charted a course for your life. So when you wake up in the morning, you know what step 1 and step 2 and step 3 is. And even if you don't, you know what direction you're headed in. So at least there's some things that you could be doing within that vein. Because every now and again, you may hit a spell where you're like confused, but at least you're heading in the right direction. You know you're headed north. You know you're headed east. You're headed west. Whatever that direction is. Don't be the person that wakes up in the morning time with no plan for their life, and no captain, no direction, no path that you lay before yourself. Don't do that, because it winds up putting you at risk. Because just like my first mentor said, if you don't plan, if you fail to plan, you plan on failing. So that's your challenge and your charge for this week. I want you to go ahead and pull out that pad and pull out that pen and put this pen to paper and start jotting those ideas down, because your life can be as amazing as you want it to be. It really can. It is left up to you. It's left up to me, for me to create the world that I want for myself. And you have to too. Unless you just want to give, kind of just throw caution to the wind and just live life haphazardly and not know what's going to happen. But I don't think that's why you're watching or listening. So listen, if any part of this you've enjoyed, please like, comment, share. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on all of the different platforms that we're on. We are so close. We're growing this YouTube channel, and we're really, really close to hitting our first mark for just having 1,000 subscribers. We're like at 975 the last time I checked. So we're like 25 people away. So listen, help us get to 1,000 by sharing this with some friends and some family and reminding them that their life can be amazing too, because I know we share some great content, and that's our commitment to bring content to you every week, that whether it's in shorts, whether it's in meditation tracks or guided hypnosis tracks, things that you can do for yourself, and even this podcast, The Better Is Now. So listen, again, subscribe, like, comment, all of those great things, and share. I really appreciate you guys. Listen, this has been A.D. Roberts for The Better Is Now, the podcast. I'll see you next time.
This is A.D. Roberts, and you have been listening to Better Is Now, the podcast. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for awesome programs and inspiring publications. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our very own Anchor. See you next time.